What should I say? What should I say? What should I say? How do I repeat what I said? What should I say? I need a chair to sit down. Do a lot of writing. What did I say about going through the motions? This guy was like, he knows karate doesn't work or Aikido doesn't work, and it's because he trained in it or he went to a school before. I've only went to like 2 karate places before. There's like thousands and thousands of different clubs. They're all extremely different. Going to 2 doesn't make me an expert on every club. That's like a poor sampling. So, if somebody went to an Aikido place and it wasn't producing good fighters, what they should do is ask why and raise their hand and ask questions. They don't do that. They just go through the motions. It's like, what is the practical application of this move? How can I use this to beat someone to the curb? How do I use this against a punch? How do I use this against a knife attack? They don't ask these questions because it's awkward for them. They're scared of the confrontation. When that happens, then you have something that isn't an honest dialogue. Then you have something that is like a cult. It's a religion where you can't question the teaching because then you're a heretic. Someone who's a weak person would be scared of the confrontation, so they won't assert themselves and ask these important questions. They'll blindly follow, not really like it. They'll be awkward to speak up, and they'll kind of quietly leave. In my opinion, all martial arts schools are going to be that way until you speak up. If you don't know what a kata means, ask the instructor. If he goes to the side and shows you a demonstration really quick and then goes back to practicing kata, ask, why aren't we doing live drills with it? You have to assert your dominance. You have to assert your truth or something. I like this and I want the training for this. If you're bad at kata, you have to say, I'm bad at kata, give me better instruction. I'm bad at drills, drill me harder. I'm bad at sparring, do more sparring with me. This is what I need to get better. This is what I need to do. That's all it takes. And most of the time, your request will be well received and granted. People never have the initiative to take that step and ask that question. They're just going through the motions. Here's what's presented, and they blindly follow along. They don't say, can I do this, can I do that? There could be some times they're told no, but most times they'll be told yes. If it's always no, that's a bad place and you have to leave. If that's how it is, you would say, I don't feel I'm getting the full experience. I don't understand why. I don't feel comfortable doing this. I feel like I'm just going through the motions and plodding along. Confrontation like that is hard for people to say. If you're going to leave anyways, you might as well like go out and say these things. You have nothing to lose. What is he going to do? Kick you out? You're already leaving. You have to call them out. You don't have to be aggressive or like, you have to confront them without confronting them. Excuse me, can we spar? Excuse me, can we make this realistic? Excuse me, can I actually train for self-defense? Excuse me, can I actually use traditional martial arts in a self-defense way? Or is this just sports? Kata competitions as sport. I'm not worried about getting hurt in sparring. I'm not worried about injuries. Are you? Is there a safe way to train this effectively? Is there a safe way to train this realistically? What is the purpose of this training? I'm not understanding. It's not making sense to me. And other people are telling me this is a bad practice. This is counterintuitive. I'm not understanding the point. If you're so desperate for instruction, you won't say these things for fear of being excluded or ostracized. If you actually took the war deeply and actually needed to fight, you would have no problem saying these things. They mostly teach children in strip malls. They're at that age, they don't ask questions. It's school, there's a teacher, they just listen to the lessons. I can go back to any school I went to, knowing what I know as an adult, and I could totally question the teacher in all their lessons. Why are you teaching math or science this way? Why are you teaching English this way? But isn't this true and this true? And I would make them look bad. They'd probably kick me out because I'm exposing their weakness. I'd be a troublemaker. So you have to, the squeaky wheel gets the oil. You have to ask and then you'll receive. Closed mouths don't get fed. They're teaching bull, you raise your hand and say, please stop, and then they'll stop. It's that simple. You don't only train at the dojo, you train at home. You don't only train at the dojo in this formal way. You train at the dojo after hours. You train in your neighborhood with friends from class on the weekend. You train in your neighborhood with untrained people. You make friends and say, hey, I need a sparring partner, come here real quick. Most of the time people say no because they don't want to get beat up. But you make friends and you train with your friends. You'll probably have many friends who don't take martial arts. Then they should be easy to beat, but you get them into it and you teach your friends, you teach your neighbors things so you can practice. Hey, can you help me? I need to get better. And you practice drills and things that go above and beyond just what's taught in school, just what's taught in dojo. If you did this in regular school, academics, you get further. It's like the nerd who goes to the library and studies. It's like the nerd who stays after class to ask the teacher questions, the teacher's pet. Those people get further. You do this in all parts of your life. You stay after work and you ask for extra assignments or extra workload or extra responsibilities. You buck for promotion. You have hard work ethic. You really like this. You're not the last one to show up to work, the first one to leave as soon as the bell rings. You come in early and you stay late and you really learn the thing just so that your job is easier. You don't do the bare minimum. You don't quietly quit. It's not one thing. It's not just a physical battle. It's physical, mental, verbal, spiritual. It's 4 battles. It's not one thing, it's like 4 things. You want to take martial arts and you want to learn to fight, but you can't confront the instructor and say, this is wrong or that's wrong, or I need full contact, or I need pressure testing, or I need this, that, or the other. You can't take initiative and ask other people to train that way at the park on the weekends. If you can't handle that type of confrontation, you're not going to be a good fighter. You don't stand up for yourself. You don't assert yourself. You don't demand the respect. You don't have that self-esteem, that confidence. I've never had those problems. Some people might have that idea and have all this confidence, but they stop just short of seeing it to completion. For some people it's, well, I know all this in my head, so I can feel smug, but not actually, oh, they're doing something fake. They should be doing this real thing. I know better, but I'll just be polite and follow their etiquette, thinking I'm better. You're not collaborating and making their practice better. If I went to a Aikido place and they weren't training honestly, like this is for a real fight and it's a form of self-defense, and I would say something, I would turn the whole class around and I would influence their training and then make it more realistic. There's different levels. So when people complain about Aikido, they're usually talking about white belt demonstrations, even if it's performed by black belts. They're usually talking about the lowest of the low. Same thing with karate, same thing with any martial art. So I'm saying this not to defend a martial art. I'm saying this to help people. You're asking the wrong questions. I remember in the beginning, I was asking questions, they said they were stupid. So then later on, when I was smarter and had smart questions to ask, I didn't ask him because dude was a dick. But then he wanted me to ask the questions. So that little bit of corruption and power tripping, my questions weren't that stupid. He lied. It was obey then command, but it's like obeying someone's kind of stupid. So that caused like friction. I spend more time fighting the politics of martial arts, the people in martial arts, the people in my old groups, than actual street fights. It's more infighting and it's more political division. You're scared of confrontation, you can't tell your instructor he's wrong, or you need better stuff. That would be like the mental thing. I'll put it differently. That'd be like the spiritual thing. If you're blindly following something, it's like you're not questioning it, then it does become a religion where you're blindly following along. It becomes dogmatic. You're not questioning it, so that's like a religion, that's like a cult. That's losing the spiritual battle. You're in a cult, and here's what you want to be, that's called your soul. And here's the role they're creating for you, that's called you sold your soul. You're just a robot. You're a soulless person without any ideas of your own of how things should be. You're blindly following this model. They're turning you into like a toy soldier. Your fighting will be bad. If you're not expressing your own ideas or exploring your own ideas, you will be bad. Only you know how to defend you. Only you care about defending you. Only you is responsible for your own safety. Nobody else. Well, I got in this fight and I lost, and I did what the instructor said, and it didn't work, and I'm mad at him, and the martial art failed me. You failed yourself, and you failed the art. Blindly following what some guy says, and you know it's wrong? I mean, all martial arts work. If you're the right person who works hard, you earned it yourself. It's the difference between being the right person and earning it, and just going somewhere blindly going through the motions, not thinking, not doing any critical analysis of your own, blindly plodding along and expecting results. That's called training naively. That would make a very naive martial artist. Naive, blindly following along, what do I want to say? Something that would like whatever I just said, but say it better. I forget. Went off on a tangent. I'm trying to think because it's kind of important. Blah, 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 and then I forget the important part. Fluff, 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 and then here's the important part. Damn. All martial arts work, so the right person can make it work. The right person can ask the right questions. The right person can train to make it hard. Any martial art attack I would see or defense, I don't care how they're showing it. I care how I would use it. I care how I would make it work. I would care about who am I fighting and what do I want to do with them. You have to ask those two questions. I do not care about sports because I don't think they're good fighters. I do not hold it as a benchmark in the slightest. I never will. People that do and say something about MMA, I know for a fact they're not smart people. They don't like to think. So it comes to that. People are lazy thinkers. They don't have any ideas of their own, and they're blindly listening to somebody else. I really take it like I'm responsible for my own life. So anybody can say anything. At the end of the day, it's me who has to fight. It's my ass on the line. I'm not going to trust some random people. I'm going to trust myself based on my ideas and my background and my experience, what I know to be true. And there's nobody that can come along and ever tell me my experience is invalid. No one can invalidate my experience to me. That's like saying, I didn't do this, I didn't do that. Well, I know better. I'm very adamant about my convictions. So, I understand different people have different ideas. That's not what we're talking about. It's, here's my ideas, help me achieve this goal. It wasn't, join a cult, here's what the group's goal is, let me help them with their goals. Or what they think is best for me. I'm not a little kid, I'm an adult, I'm not their child. I'm not going to be talked to like I'm some child. Like, bow down and obey. No. There will be friction. Some groups, they'll totally be like, no, we're not exploring your new ideas. Other groups, they're all for it. Some groups are like, if we had really hard training, most people would quit. They're wimps. But if you ask us for like a hard training, we will give it to you. Here's something that's really kind of fake. We're not going to say this is the truth. We're going to show you something fake, and you come in and say this is fake, and then we escalate. And we do that for a while, and you say this ain't good enough, and then we escalate. So it's, here's a white belt level, get to the point where you say you need more, they go up here. And then here, and then here. And this is always progressive training. That's how progressive training works. People who criticize this club or that club that they were at and it was a bad practice, I don't think they said, I want to progress, give me more progression. And even if you are at a bad club, go home and train with your friends on the weekend. Go to the dojo, steal their techniques. Go home, fight in an underground fight club. Set that shit up yourself, show initiation, or show initiative. I'll go to any whack place, steal their moves, and then in my backyard with my friends, do it for real. Then I'll come back the next week, I've practiced it all week long, not 3 hours a week, but like 3 hours a day for 7 days, like 20 hours a week. They only practice there and then go home. It's like people that only work out at the gym and then go home. I work out at home, then go to the gym workout, then come home and work out again. It's a lifestyle. It's not, they have people who are bad at martial arts that call themselves hobbyists. Okay, so that's most of it. 4 schools in one: physical, mental, verbal, spiritual. If you're not questioning that shit and telling dude he's wrong and telling him to like start doing progressive and here's how, then you've lost the spiritual battle. If you're going to be all about de-escalation, then you have to use your words. Stop, I don't want to fight, this, that, and the other. People say they'll de-escalate. Then you have to confront somebody and say those words. If you can't talk to like someone in your class because it's awkward, they may be mad, or you might lose a friend. If it's hard to talk to someone in a safe environment, it's going to be impossible to talk to somebody in a dangerous environment. People will always say what they'll do. They don't have those skills. I have all these skills. So I don't really feel like signing up to a club where it's these fluffy things, like public speaking 101, because I'm nervous and don't know how to talk to people, or de-escalation. Why are you mad at me? I don't want to fight you. What did I do wrong? I'm not some doormat. I'm not like begging for my life. I'm going to stand down anybody. I know how to fight. Most people know how to fight. They come off calm. In a situation, either come off really calm and just talk in a normal way, say the right things, not this script, but just real things that are unscripted. Why are you mad? I don't want to fight. That wasn't me. That was someone else. Someone's lying to you. You're misinformed. I would never do that. This is a misunderstanding. It's not like that. Because I can beat the shit out of the person, I'm not, it's not like that. Please don't hurt me. I don't show weakness. I would never. Just for like good knowledge, never show weakness to the enemy. You stand your ground and this, that, and the other. If you're calm, they'll get scared and not attack you. If you're very angry and aggressive, you'll punk the shit out of them, they'll get scared, they'll run away. Super calm, they won't fight. Super angry, and they're fake, they won't fight. So, really angry, ooh, he looks angry, I'll come back when he's in a better mood. People tend to attack when you're in a good mood, and you're not going to do anything. They tend to like avoid you when you're in a really bad mood and you want to fight. That is my experience. If I'm angry all week long, people leave me alone. If this one day I'm in a good mood, now's their chance. I'm tired returning from the field. People like that aren't good fighters. They have these like little fruity little tricks, these little gay moves. They're very weak. I would never give permission people to like attack me. I would never consent to violence because I never send the message it's okay to hit me. But they don't have to listen to me. They don't need my permission. They can go and attack anybody in a criminal way on their own. That's what being a criminal is, that's what being a bully is. It's not a consensual, would you like to have a fight? Yes, I would like to have a fight. There is not that type of etiquette. In the streets, anything goes. Literally anything. There's no rule sets. There's a bunch of cheating. You have to be ready for everything. So back to like the 4 things. You couldn't like progressively train and tell the instructor what you wanted to do and how you wanted to customize your training. You lost the spiritual battle. Here's what they want you to be, or applauding you along to be, and you don't have like the wherewithal to say, I want to be this, help me along this. You gave up your soul, your identity, who you are as a person, and here's the role they created for you. You lost your soul, you lost your ID, you lost the spiritual battle. They changed you into something else. And I guess you'd go along with it with, this is going to change my life. This is going to make me this thing. This is this successful program. That's not what martial arts is supposed to be. That's like false teaching. You control your own destiny. You have your own idea what destiny you want to have. Anything else is a mere tool along your own self-development. It's not this idea they have for you. That's like communism or something. That's like being a good little sheep or something. That's not independence. That's not internal strength. So that's the spiritual battle. De-escalation. You can't tell those people in the club they're wrong, so you're not going to be able to tell somebody in real life they're wrong, they can't fight you. So you're going to lose that verbal battle. The mental battle, that's like don't be in the wrong places. That's like using your brain. When I'm saying people don't like to think, you don't be in like the bad places. So it's like the mental thing and tactics are different things. So somehow you're losing that mental battle. The physical battle, okay, so people focus on the physical. So come in and learn the moves and now you can fight and da-da-da-da-da. That's the physical battle. Obviously there's the physical battle and that's very important, and it would be horrible if somebody like some club neglected that. But it's not one thing, it's four things. And all four things have to be working simultaneously. So it's not one school, it's four schools in one. The reason why Taekwondo is so good is it's four schools in one. The reason why people like it is it's four schools in one. The reason why people hate it is because it's four schools in one and they don't like to think. Typically, people who don't like to think are called meatheads. So I take this very deeply. I'm not shallow. I don't take it superficially. People who get bad results tend to be extremely superficial. They're weak in all four of these areas. They're not a complete person. They're an incomplete person trying to create a complete martial art. Their foundation is very weak. The martial arts they're building on it will collapse. They don't know what they're doing. There's a lot of misconceptions, and that is the mainstream. Mainstream martial arts are very bad. When something starts out and it's real culture, it's underground, and it's in the streets, and by the time it gets popular and it's mainstream, it's commercialized, and it's prostituted out, and it's bastardized, that's when it stops being effective. Because it lets in a lot of weak people who are fake and posers who run it into the ground. These are like the ways to make your martial arts better. I would go to a fake club, see the punching and kicking, go home, watch YouTube. I will look up the Japanese. I will get videos that are all in Japanese and I can't understand anything they're saying. And I will see them doing the moves. I will not go to the famous personality people who have the most views. I'll go to the most underground, it has like 10 views, 140 views. Basically, things like what I'm doing. And that will show like the truth of martial arts. Not this big thing, one size fits all, politically correct, where modern martial arts were not about hurting people. That right there, you're going to lose the physical battle. Here's what the club teaches, confirm online. You're hearing a second opinion. Go back to the club, question them. Why is this or that? What people do is they watch this other stuff and they get like, they second guess things, but they don't speak on it. How come he said this? How come he said that? What's this and what's that? What do you think about this and that? They don't have those important conversations because they don't like to speak. They don't like to think. They don't like to critically analyze anything. Those are just really weak people. It's your life. And you're the one who's like asses on the line. So you're going to take it serious and know how to defend yourself or you're not. Always asking questions online or somewhere else when you need to be asking the people you're training with. And you're too shy. Fly guys win, shy guys don't. This is just common sense. Thinking what those people are called, wimps, nerds. I'm thinking it's like negative words. They're shy. If that's their personality, how could they win? What do they need? A Derringer? A get off me gun? I don't want to fight. It's just get you off me. A whore gun? I mean, that's bastardized martial arts. That's like silly. Everything works. You're just doing it completely wrong. It's the blind leading the blind. So that's enough of that.